It's around Nile. Um, the funny thing is that if you're a fan of Security Field Day, you probably missed this presentation because it didn't happen at Security Field Day. It happened at Mobility Field Day. But Nile is a very interesting use case because for those of you who don't know, they were founded by a group of people that came kind of out of the Cisco Juniper orbit. John Chambers is one of the co-founders. He bought in on the company after he left Cisco. And they are very much a network as a service model, right? We will deploy the equipment to you and manage it for you. And Suresh, one of their co-founders, the guy is very dynamic. I won't lie to you that when he gets in the room, like he just kind of he absorbs energy and he is driving this. And he's saying things like, we've never had a bug in the system. We've always done this. We've always done that. But when you strip back the veneer of the network as a service part, you're seeing some of the things that I think people really need to understand about this. So kind of going back to your Salesforce example, people in their heads are like, yeah, only this object needs access to these 3 other objects, but not this object, because never should those 2 objects directly talk to each other. That's how we would do it now, right? But in 5 years, the people who are doing that don't need to know the nuts and bolts. What they need to say is, object X has permission set Y, which allows it to do these things. And that's that. Like we don't need the justification. We don't need the the war story of the one time we accidentally let that happen. And that's why, there's a big sign, a Post-it note on my monitor that says, double check the commits for whatever, because it's just how things work, right? Like when it's like any regulation, it's like any rule. It's only a rule when you put it in place the first time. Like there's a justification for the rule. After that, it's just the rule, right? If we only do this, we only do that. And that's why I think that companies like Nile are really doing it differently, is because they re-architected this from the ground up. But let me give you an example. So security people start taking notes. Network people tune out for a second because you already know this stuff. When you put 2 machines on the same network together, they can talk to each other absent of anything else. That's the basis of how Ethernet works. It's like trying to have a conversation at a cocktail party. Over the years, from the late 70s, early 80s on, we have found ways to isolate devices. That's why a switch is better than a bridge or a hub, is because it reduces the amount of chatter that's going on. But the thing is that even like in a wireless medium, I can still see other people, which is why you should be running a VPN at the coffee shop, folks. You can see all the wireless traffic in the air. Nile takes a completely different approach, which is I'm going to isolate the host until I can verify their identity and admit them to the network. I believe it's a trust first mentality, right? And we've seen ideas around this in the past of like, we're gonna force people into a quarantine VLAN until they can, download their update. You're giggling because we remember living through that, and we remember how kludgy it felt, right? Like, okay, so I'm going to join on the special SSID that's my initial one, and I'm going to force you into quarantine VLAN until you do all the updates and I can remediate your system, and then and only then will I give you an SSID to join the regular. Guys, we're already 4 steps deep into I don't care anymore. I'll just use my phone. Whereas this model from Nile is I'm going to join the network, and I'm on the network, but until I've joined and proven my identity, I can't communicate with things. And once I've proven my identity, that dictates what I can see. And it prevents that classical layer 2 Ethernet problem of I have visibility, because malware doesn't care. And that's one of their big selling points with this is if you connect, because mea culpa, kids, I will freely admit to this. I connected a laptop to our corporate network to install some updates. And it was a personal laptop of one of the new salespeople, and it had, I believe it was NIMDA on it, and it infected 2 of our servers.
Hey.
Yep, I screwed up. I thought I knew better than I did. We did get rid of it. Thankfully, the Windows server admin was my friend, and he did give me a lot of crap for that. But I learned a lesson after that, right? Guest network only, VPNs, things like that, because malware can spread without you even realizing it. And this model of isolation of the host until identity is verified, and even then, I'm going to dictate what you can and can't see, I think is a better way of doing zero trust. Because what if that user was an agent? And what if it was a malicious agent masquerading as an agent with the wrong certificates or wrong keys or things like that. Well, if it's isolated on an island by itself, I don't care what it can see, which is nothing. I'll just leave it there forever.